Free land of Guyana, heroes of yours, both bondsmen and free, laid their bones on your shore. Their swords so they hollow, and from them are we, those sons of one mother, Guyana the free. Great land of Guyana, diverse through our streams, we are born of their sacrifice, heirs of their pains. Their noise is the glory their eyes did not see. One land of 6 people, united and free. Dear land of Guyana, to you will we give our homage, our service, each day that we live. Oh God, you great Mother, and make us to be more worthy our heritage, land of the free.
Well, good night, good night, good night to you. And how are you doing tonight? You notice tonight on Advancing the Cause, we took a different start because I recognize that Guyana is indeed crisis. We are in crisis indeed. And you know what? The PPP, they're not serious. And so I started this evening with our national anthem, reminding us that we are Guyana. We are dear land of Guyana, one people, one nation, one destiny, and not the foolishness we're hearing about one Guyana and one Guyana. I don't know where that came from, but we have a national motto that says one people, one nation, one destiny. Good night to all of you. Look, call up your friend, call up your neighbor, call up your family members. Just tell them Advancing the Cause is on. And we are going to talk about what's happening here with us. Let them know Guyana is in real crisis and the PPP, they're not serious. Just call up your friends and let them know. But while we wait on your friends to come on, I want to say to you, it's always a pleasure to have you here. I know that you were waiting for quite some time, and every time we're about to start this program, we have some hitches here and there with GPL. I don't know where we're going. Lots and lots of millions of dollars would have been approved by the National Assembly, and we're still having blackout every single day. Every single day we are having blackout. Every day. And I don't know why. Every single day, 2 and 3 times per day, we're having blackout. Blackout here, blackout there, blackout every single where, all across this country. And there are times when the entire country is shut down. And I am wondering, and I'm sure you're wondering too, where are these monies going? Where are our monies going? Whose pockets are these monies going into? But you know what? We're going to find out. We are going to find that out in a little while from now, where our monies are going. I want to extend birthday wishes to all those who have celebrated their birthdays from last Wednesday to today. Happy birthday to you. And I trust that God is going to bless you with an abundance of good health, happiness, loyalty, and that portion of truthfulness, integrity, let me say that, and grant you the boldness to be able to stand up and speak out for Guyana. Happy birthday to all of you. And of course, on that same note, on the other hand, we want to extend our sincere condolences to all of those relatives who have lost loved ones during this week. I know we have a teacher from Covent Garden Secondary. She's now dead. And I want to say it's a shame on this government that so many teachers are dying and they could not have received their increase in salaries, or they couldn't receive their weekly council allowances, or they could not receive their duty-free concession, or they are still not in receipt because they can't get it anymore of their promotions. Shame on this government. But again, let me say, Guyana is in crisis. The PPP are not serious, but we have to be serious because this country is ours. We're not going to go too much into a lot of talking, but I just wanted to share this bit of notice with you, coming from the chief whips. The chief whips have met. They met today, and I know that you can see that they met today, and they have agreed that the National Assembly, there is going to be a special sitting of the National Assembly come Monday. It was touted that that sitting would have been on Friday, but because the sides did not agree on that, and there were lots and lots of information that the government did not want to send over to the opposition, we could not have that sitting on Friday, but we're going to have that sitting come Monday. And that would be a sitting where we are all going to be united because Guyana is ours. And so the chief whips, they've met again, and they have decided that Monday is going to be that extraordinary sitting of the National Assembly. Folks, look, I want you to do this for me. Well, not only for me, but for yourselves. I want you to post on your Facebook pages, on your WhatsApp status, Guyana is ours. The Essequibo belong to us. We are one people, one nation with one destiny. Do that, whether you're going to do it in a voice note, or you're going to do it standing, holding a flag, or whatever way you want to do it. Just post that on your Facebook pages and let the world know that Guyana is ours. Tonight, we are going to be having quite a good discussion because, you know, on this program, we always tell the truth and we have persons who are concerned about what is happening. And so tonight, again, I'm going to be sharing the stage with a young man who's no stranger to these kinds of forums. He's no stranger to advancing the cause. And so, operator, could you bring for us Apostle Nigel E? Good night to you, my dear, and how are you?
Greetings to all of you and greetings to you. Thank you. I'm so grateful as always to share this platform with you or to be invited to do so. To those viewing and those who will be willing to share the broadcast, thanks to all of you. It is certainly a distinct honor of mine to be here to share this moment, especially in a matter that has to do with our national interest and our well-being. Thanks again.
You're so welcome, Nigel. You know, well, I don't think quite a lot of people know the relationship we have, but we come way back. So I could afford to call you Nigel on this program.
That's my name.
Our theme for tonight says Guyana is in real crisis and the PPP not serious. Nigel, what do you want to share with us from your side way out there in Linden? I noticed some strange happenings there. Could you share with us very quickly before we go into the real matter of the crisis, real crisis that we're in?
Well, there seems to be, for those who know, I'm in Linden, here in Region 10, and there is a continued, I would say now, effort by the administration. Some would say the government must, for me, include the opposition and all stakeholders, but the administration, the PPP civic, they are seemingly hell-bent on doing whatever they want to do in this region. We have a matter at hand here where, in reference to construction, only today the region chairman shared that they have reduced significantly the size of our roads. Linden was one of the best, or remains one of the best laid out towns in this nation, because it was Burnham's desire to have this town be the city, the capital. That's another story, which is a fact. So what has happened now is they have come into the town, they're repairing roads and so on, and they've reduced the roads. The roads, all they need to do is resurface and ensure that the drainage is the walls, the storm retaining walls are restored. They haven't done that. So in some instances, two vehicles cannot pass on the same street, and Edgel has allowed that to be approved, and wherever else it is. We also have a case in which the Mackenzie Sports Club, the mecca of sports for Linden, Region 10, produced so many national and international stars. And what are they doing? They're now dismantling the pavilion that they admitted. They said it belongs to the membership, which would be us. And now they've begun to dismantle the same without even having a meeting to tell the members what it looked like or any such thing. So here in Region 10, we have got a serious crisis. Most importantly, in Linden, we have an issue whereby the new council, in reference to the town council, is still being starved. I, my sister, and viewers do not have my garbage collected. Can you believe that? In 2023, in an all-rich nation, I do not have, and many people in my area do not have their garbage collected by the mayor and town council when we pay our rates and taxes. What's the reason? Because the new minister of regional development and local government is no different from Dharamlal. So we still do not have our funds released to this town so that we can have a simple thing as garbage being collected. The council, headed by Mr. Sharma Solomon, has said they have to make a decision and they'll focus on the center of the town. So what happens to us who live in the outskirts? We have got multiple issues to deal with in our town and in our region. And there seems to be very little being done in reference to interest being shown genuinely. The PPP, the agents were here, Jagdio, Ali, and others were here over the weekend. Unfortunately, I was not in Linden, but they had a ball. And now we're seeing the results of it, where the contracts have been tossed out to friends and cronies. But to what extent? They have got roads in this town that were once wide enough for 2 trucks to pass, and now 1 truck could barely make it through. I'm saying on this platform that we, as Linders, must go out and stop all of these works until they restore the roads to the width that we know our town enjoyed. We must not accept anything less than what we know we deserve. There has to be a time when we show the PPP civic administration that we are extremely serious. I dare say that we are deadly serious about what we experience in this town and in this region. We deserve better, and we shall have better. So there's quite a bit that's happening here in Linden in Region 10. If I were to even take the risk to mention even that in reference to our sporting facilities, we had inter-school sports recently, and the clan, I call them, who refused to adhere to basic advice, would have excavated the Mackenzie Sports Club, tore it to pieces, while the track at what they call Bayrock, that Ashley Singh lied to this nation to say that it was finished when it's not, the facility. They took our athletes there, and people had nowhere to sit on the first day. They didn't have chairs for our children, our athletes. It is just a tragedy upon a tragedy here in Region 10. There's so many things that are being done to individuals, to the township at large, to the region at large, and it is necessary for us to rise with voices that are loud and resounding, to say to all who are responsible that we will not accept this in our town, we will not accept this in our region. There has to be, there must be a decision made to remedy the situation. And so I appeal to all Guyanese, all rational Guyanese, to understand that it doesn't make any sense, for example, with the roadworks that have commenced here, for anyone to reduce, the drains are there, all the drains are in place. Why would you reduce the width of a road? That's unacceptable. I like that other was coming, that was coming up there. So we are indeed in a crisis.
Thanks for that. I noted with a whole lot of pain the dismantling of the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, the pavilion, as a matter of fact. And I'm thinking that must have pained the hearts of many, 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 many Lindeners, because that pavilion belongs to the people of Linden. And this government, like I said earlier, they're not serious. Operator, I don't know if you have that video that you want to cue up there, the dancers. If you want, let me show you what is happening. We are in a serious situation here, but this is what the president. They are having fun while our brothers and sisters in Maruma and all those who live on the borderline of Guyana, let them and all over there. They are worried about what is going to happen to them. Look what our leaders are doing. Well, not our leaders. Look what the installees are doing. They are dancing and they're having a good time. You know what? Because they're not serious about this whole situation. And then we're going to comment on that before just now, Nigel. And then we have the other one where Jagdio was speaking at another forum. And this is the man who talks about, oh, he wants Guyana to move and the development and this. But I want to again caption him, the doctor of doom, as was said by one of my former colleagues in Parliament. Yes, Jagdio doesn't care.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
This same gentleman was prepared to give a corridor to the Atlantic, to Venezuela. A corridor to the Atlantic, let the world know it. We are talking about defending our territorial integrity, and you are talking about giving up some of it to the Venezuelans.
We have to fight for our country. We have to do everything that is possible to maintain our territories. Our territory. Nigel, I'll have your comment on the two videos we showed earlier.
Well, the first one with the dancers, the revelers, I must say that I'm not surprised, because the way that Jagdio, I wouldn't even say Irfanali has never thought to do anything to Guyanese. The way that Barrett Jagdio treats Guyanese people has a lot to do with the uncaring nature that he possesses. While this country is being threatened consistently, and we must be very careful to note this, by an extremely powerful nation militarily, these men can afford to, with their colleagues and wives and spouses and whatever else they are, they can afford to do this because they are well aware that they've got the means, first of all, to negotiate our resources away. They have the means of escaping out of the situation if the opportunity presents itself. And they also have got the mentality that says they do not care who dies in the process. That's the kind of people we deal with. Their attitude in the midst of an international crisis tells me that they do not care. Because Guyana, even with the 20 girls, the Madi situation, the 19 and the one young boy, I said again, the nature of these people, they responded with partying the Thursday evening. As soon as Ali said 3 days of mourning, which was just ridiculous, for 20 lives of children, he said, okay, then party tonight. They started botheration. Here again, Guyana is being threatened now by Venezuela. What do? Party in the process. Party, let's just dance our lives away because it doesn't matter. And then they come out of this with faces that say we should be united, we should all be serious about this situation, it matters much. The next video, with Jagdio saying a while ago that he was prepared to consider giving Venezuela a channel to make concession. I believe that he's convinced that Guyana is his. He didn't say that there was a meeting with anyone and there was a decision made and they would move to a referendum, which should be the thing to say, what do we do in reference to this situation? Do we concede a little channel out to But no, He just started talking, so what could happen? And what was he deciding to do? To give away a channel. I don't care if it's an inch, as Dave Martin said, not a blade of grass. Venezuela does not deserve anything because the decision was already made. Decades, centuries ago, Jaglio is a weakling. He's afraid to stand for anything, and that's why he surrounds himself with criminal people, criminal minds, because he is incapable of standing as a man to defend anything called a national cause. And I was appalled when I came to the knowledge of this, that this man was saying, one who they deemed to be so important to Guyana, that he was willing, you can just concede and give them a channel out to the ocean for what? What channel does Venezuela need? They have so many ways of getting out to the ocean. Why do they need part of our maritime boundary to access where they are? This is just ridiculous. These should have been tried if you ask me.
You know, Nigel, I remember going to school, and we, on Fridays, Mondays, we sang our national songs. Since
right.
the PDP came into office in 1992, they removed all of that. Every single aspect of it, they removed. And I don't know why the PPP believe, like you rightfully said, that Guyana is theirs. I don't know why they believe that Guyana is theirs. They have removed almost every aspect of nationalism. They have removed our national songs. You don't hear them play on the radios anymore. You got 98.1, you got NCN, you got all of them. You don't hear them playing on the air anymore. What you hear is the private radio stations. You might hear it on Bobby Vera's radio station 104. You're going to hear the national songs there, but we don't hear them any longer. We don't even have our children. Our children now, they hardly, if you ask them about national songs, play a song, they're lost. They don't know. And so the PPP they're just not any good for Guyana. We look at the Guyana Defense Force, what they've been doing with the Guyana Defense Force. Well, of course, they've dismantled the Guyana National Service, they've dismantled the People's Militia. And now, if by chance something were to happen, we don't have anybody. We don't have anybody to protect us. The police force is already short of servicemen. The Guyana Defense Force is short of servicemen. I don't know if they're going to take some from the fire service and the prisons, but when you take from the prisons, what happens there? Right. And so these people have no vision whatsoever. And again, I want to say to our viewers that the PPP, they're not serious. We've heard the talks about Venezuela, and you noticed every time the PPP, every time they're in office, Venezuela start acting up. Every time they're in office, Venezuela starts acting up. And this should be sending a clear message to us that somewhere along the line, maybe Jaglio promised the people in Venezuela some part of Guyana. Now, we saw this mass invasion of the Venos here. And people have been complaining, citizens have been complaining over and over and over. And you know what this government has been doing? Turning a blind eye to it, because you know what? They wanted the Venezuelans to come here so that they can get them to register and vote for them come next elections. But you know what? When we do foolishness, it backfires on us. If we look at some of the videos at what is happening right now, because the Venezuelans are being taught in school that part of Essequibo belong to them. And so what they're doing now is coming to claim what is rightfully theirs according to them. But we have got to be able to mobilize ourselves, and not to aggravate or agitate them, but we have to be able to mobilize ourselves to look in our communities and to be able to monitor the movements of these people and to monitor what they're doing in our communities. Your take on this one here. This is I think this was Wakenham.
Yes. Well, Jaglio said that most of them, or he's made a broad statement, a generalized statement, that those who are arriving here are of Guyanese parentage. Yet again, his behavior is treasonous because he hasn't established any means to determine whether this is so. And being of Guyanese parentage doesn't speak to one's allegiance; it speaks to one's lineage. It doesn't say to whom they pledge allegiance. But I know the deal because as long as they say they have Guyanese parentage, then they have entitlement to an ID card and to a birth certificate. Therefore, they'll be eligible to vote. What I want, and I was about to say that, if you are of Guyanese parentage, why did I see people jumping out of that bus on Sunday? If Jagdio said that those who are coming here of Guyanese parentage have a right to be here, why jump out of the bus and run away? I have never seen anyone jumping out of any bus when they arrive because somebody came to pick them up since they see my parents are Guyanese. This is obvious and it's evident that those who are jumping out of that window know that they do not belong here. They know it. But he didn't just say that. He also said that they left years ago because of Fox Burnham. Jagdio is playing a dangerous game in this time of crisis. He's playing a very dangerous game. Now, he spoke to the military, and I would hasten to say that I have made a post last week, I think it was, and I said, listen, all of these little boys are giving gun licenses to, send them to protect Guyana. Because the wanton nature, the one who's supposed to be some former police officer who is accused of killing his friend or sending him to be killed, he was brandishing a weapon in his chest. There's another one, Lynn, who had a weapon that shot and killed his cousin. So it seems as though the little boys in this country, whose fathers or they are friends with the PPP, they get guns. The plan may have been to use those weapons just in case something would happen, because I would not forget. I would not forget what happened in 2020 when they went to in Enmore and one had his weapon in his hand, saying this is not long time. So I'm talking about something that happened 10 years, 15 years ago. In March, the one was at Enmore with his weapon in his hand, a gun, saying this is not a long time, and the police had arrested him. He wasn't charged for brandishing a weapon publicly for no cause. So this, I'm not saying anything in that is unusual. It is a fact that with the PPP, their supporter came out with a gun in his hand to threaten the lives of other people he felt were against the PPP. So I'm saying to you now, all these things, Jagdio, that you all are allowing these young men to get weapons, send them to deal with it. Because you have this. My grandfather was a member of the People's Militia. My grandfather served in the military in this country. What did they do? They disbanded it. My mother had to do national service. Gone. So as you rightly said, with all of the opportunities to have a military, though small, stance taken in this country, Jagdio, Janet, Ramatar, and now the puppet, his puppet, Irfan Ali, have all destroyed our opportunities to be strong. And I say this finally, I have taken note of the number of senior members of the Guyana Defense Force who've been sent overseas. And then suddenly, Omar Khan is the head of the army. I'm not playing with them tonight because a fact is a fact. And let them tell me that I'm wrong. Why did you send so many senior military officers away? And now you want to tell me that we're in crisis? Well, bring them back. Because you know that you send them based on their rank, hence Omar has to be promoted. Handpicked. Well, that Omar can't solve the problem then. Because those who were, as far as I'm aware, some of them were more qualified than he is. They're gone. They're not here. So this issue with the Venezuelans tapping into or putting their foot in our territory, even Clifton, he can kind of deal with it. Because he has got no, as far as I'm concerned, intellectual fortitude to analyze that people do not just arrive in your country. And I ask again, what is the crisis in Venezuela? If they can say that they are prepared to attack Guyana and to take Essequibo, then it's obvious that they don't have a crisis. Please, Guyanese, I want you to take note that it is in the Venezuelan constitution and in their curriculum that Essequibo belongs to them. This is not something that's just saying yesterday or 10 years ago. It is enshrined in the law that this is their territory. Please take note of that. So the referendum they talk about in December, it is just a sham because it's already written that it is theirs. The question now is, what do we do to get it? That's what they're going to ask. Not that it's theirs. It is theirs in reference to their viewpoint. We have to stand, and I would like to say that we have to please stand against those leaders in this country or who call themselves leaders who want to give away our land or allow Venezuela to come here and take whatever they want.
You know, Nigel, it's amazing the way the Haitians were treated when they came to this country.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing the way they were treated and the kind of treatment that is being meted out to the Venezuelans. And you notice, we're not calling the Venezuelans refugees, we're calling them migrants.
Exactly.
So if you're a migrant, it means you got a right. You're not. Now, we have been asking repeatedly, because the vice president, he talking a whole lot. Everybody he abusing out at his press conference on Thursdays. But you're not hearing him saying anything about this situation that we're in, this crisis that we're in. Absolutely nothing. And we've been asking the vice president, when you come to your press conference on Thursdays, don't talk about the conference that Rickford Burke had. Don't talk about what Aubrey Norton doing and what happening in the PNC. Tell us how many Venezuelans are here.
Exactly.
Tell us how many of them are Guyanese who left and they have returned. Tell us how many of them are children of Guyanese parents that have Guyanese parents. Tell us how many of them are married to Guyanese, and tell us how many of them are bona fide Venezuelans. Tell us those numbers and tell us where they are located. But you notice he can't say any of that, and they are refusing to give that kind of information because they know what they want to do. But you notice, like, you know, our folks would continuously say, God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. But in the midst of all of this ugliness, we are the ones who will suffer. In case Venezuela decide to make a radical move, we are the ones who will suffer. Our Amerindian brothers and sisters who are living on the borderline, they're the ones who will suffer. And I'm hoping that our indigenous brothers and sisters, they are taking note that the PPP don't care about them. They don't care about them. They know them when they want to have their votes. Our Amerindian brothers and sisters, they lost 20 innocent lives.
Children, yes.
And you know what? They come to masquerade and say, oh, we will stand the expenses of the burial. We will stand the expenses. And then the Attorney General had the audacity to say they didn't have to do that. We took care of all the expenses. We didn't have to do that. Those children were in whose care? Whose care? And if they die in your care because of your negligence, who got to stand the funeral expenses? Now, this is the kind of people that we have to deal with. And again, let me say, I'm hoping that our indigenous brothers and sisters are taking note. I recall just about a week ago, I was listening to an address to the nation by Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham. You know what he said? He said 4 days ago, I think it is, they got information that the Venezuelans are occupying Ankoko.
Right.
What he did, he sent the senior officers from the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force to go there to pick up the intelligence. After that, you know what? He addressed the nation. Look what Irfan Ali is doing, dancing all the time, and he putting on all kind of makeshift suits and all kind of thing, because apparently he wants to look like Fidel Castro now. He wants to be the what you call it, the Mac Fidel Castro. Now he went to Essequibo dressed like this. You know, isn't this a form of provocation to the Venezuelans? Is this man serious about our security? Is he really serious about our national security? Is he really serious about the lives of our brothers and sisters who are on the borderline? Is he really serious about it?
No, he's not. And while you're speaking, I don't know if you can see what I have here. The Haitians, look, that's in 2021. Guyana bans Haitian nationals from entry until further notice. I would never forget it. I will never ever forget this, because these people have got the right through CARICOM to be here. Venezuelans have any right. And Jagdio is saying they'll be here because they have Guyanese parentage. And then I saw a video today where one of them is commenting or complimenting Barra Jagdio. Jagdio promised them they'll be all right. Not even Irfan Ali, not Robeson Ben. Jagdio promised the Venezuelans it'll be okay. And this man seems to be in full campaign mode here. So he's telling people that, y'all are free to be here. You rightly said there's certain questions that Irfan Ali, as the head of state, paid to be head of state, should be answering, not Bar Jagdeo. Bar Jagdeo is not the head of this country. I know he is in terms of his behavior, but he's not paid to be president. And Irfan Ali, I would say this because I know many of you are privy to these broadcasts. I would say to you again that you are causing Bar Jagdeo to create for you the worst legacy. I thought Ramatar was bad, but Jagdeo is causing you, remember he was the youngest to ever be president. He's causing you, the second in reference to chronology, to be worse. Jagdeo is destroying everything called a legacy that you could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
When have you ever seen a country under threat and the vice president is called, and Jagdeo is no vice president for me. He has to have a portfolio. He's the second or third or fourth, whatever it is, or fifth. We have 5 slots, but he's not the first vice president. And there's no office in this country called a vice president. He's a mockery to this nation.
Yep.
And we have to call it what it is. So we have got a situation on our hand in which Jagdeo is being seen even by the Venezuelans as the key man, as the go-to man. He's the one who could promise us security, not Robeson Bear, not Irfan Ali, not Clifton Hicken. They gone past everybody else. And they're praising one man. Is saying Jagdeo told us he'll be all right. To what end? That's what you have to ask ourselves. And important in the list that you've mentioned of things that you should speak to is what is the military background of these people. In today's society, the US told us that if you want to have a visa, they'll search your social media profile. Why can't we? They could track you. They could track mine. They monitor us on every show. They monitor us now at Eve Leary. Why are they going to use the same technology to monitor these Venezuelans who are coming here? To say, what was your military training? Were you a police officer? Were you in the military? What is your background? Further, are you in MS-13? This bloodthirsty gang? Are you a member of the Sindicato? What are you? They're major drug lords and dealers in Venezuela, who we know, at least I'm aware, others are aware, they want to put their foot here because it's easy picking for them. We have got a serious crisis on our hand, and I would dare say that the PPP administration is incapable of dealing with it because they are unwilling to deal with it in the manner that it should. As long as they want to use these people for electoral gain, they're going to sell or position as Guyanese. There are a number of them who head to the Grove area in the East Bank. So Jagdeo could pretend that you don't know. You and I know that there are a number of them who live by the sideline in Grove and in Region 3. They're occupying what we call the reserve. Mocha Arcadia people the house was bulldozed, kicked off for what's rightfully theirs. Venezuelans are now occupying the Grove sideline, the reserve, and in Region 3. How can you tell me that as a Guyanese man, I can't do it, but Venezuelans can come in, then they're being given grants? Remember the $5 million to help to take care of the Venezuelan refugees?
I'm not seeing nothing else on this thing.
These people are the epitome of evil in reference to how they treat their own Guyanese population. And I say to you again, Barra Jagdeo, if you believe that you can use Venezuelans to just gain votes, this will certainly backfire. Because we have to always understand that a person's parental history has nothing to do with their loyalty and their commitment to a nation. You said that they spent all of their lives in Venezuela. Well, let's talk about now. What have they come here to do?
You know, Nigel, I am saying that as we have been known for our hospitality, but we cannot continue to be hospitable to foreigners when our people here are living under stress. I've never seen Barra Jagdeo or Irfan Ali walk Regent Street to see all of those beggars that we have there sleeping on the pavement. I've never seen him done that.
No.
But we given lands and we given shelter and we putting up all kind of tents and so on and we giving that to the Venezuelans. I remember visiting Mabaruma
Yes.
and even Maruka. But in Mabaruma, you see them there, especially at night. You see them at the riverside, and you're wondering where all these people come from. All Venezuelans, little baby, little big baby, grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, everybody. You see them lying in the riverside, and you know what? The government is giving them food, but we got our own bona fide Guyanese who are living on the pavement in Regent Street. By Stabrook there, you got them sleeping all over the place, but you don't see no government vehicle pulling up to give them a box of food when the day come,
Yeah.
or when the evening come. You don't see that.
Right, and if I may, Coretta, we have got. I saw Robert Prasad crying the other day that some Venezuelans got a food stand with Essequibo incorporated in the map of Venezuela. He told us to boycott it. I asked who put it there, who allowed them to come here to do that? Because Guyanese can't do that in Venezuela. So how do you tell me as Guyanese I should now join the PPP? And I'm saying this even to you as a member of parliament, one who's representing the people. My call. This for the parliamentary meeting, and I hope my 2 members of parliament for Linden are hearing me, is to deal with Jagdeo. This is absolute foolishness. Don't tell me that you allow them to come here. They have shops in Kitty. They knock down Jagdeo on those. Ejil, allow all the stalls by the hospital to be knocked down.
Yes.
I mean, they shouldn't be blocking the roadway, but find better places for them to be. You don't take bread out of people's mouth like that. And now they're saying the Venezuelans are coming here. They've set up shop in Kitty. They have a map on the shop showing that Escobar is theirs, and we should cry. Cry for what? That's one person. Get them out of Guyana. There's nothing to cry about. Destroy that shop. Let me help you, Robert Prasad. Send Hicken and his team out there to dismantle it, because they're showing you that is a level of aggression against Guyanese. I don't believe in being hospitable to people who are hostile.
Right?
I don't play that game. If you are a refugee, as you label them, then tell me what is the crisis in Venezuela. Their GDP is higher than Guyana's. They have far more oil than Guyana. They've got 10 times, 15, 20, 30 times more power than us militarily. So what's the crisis then? That they don't like Maduro? Well, here's the deal for me. Any Venezuelan coming here and wants to stay here, I don't care what parentage you have. You have to go live and say, I hate Maduro. I want nothing to do with Venezuela. I'll fight for Guyana. Do that. Because I'm not asking much. When Guyanese are going to seek to be U.S. citizens, you have to pledge.
You have to denounce,
that you fight for the USA. I'm not asking you for much. So I don't intend to be hostile or inhospitable. What I intend to be is fair. Don't come to this country while you're saying, as was advertised by the food vending kitty, that Essequibo is yours. Out. Break the whole stand down and leave. They need to leave.
Nigel, I'm going to play for you 2 videos just now. I'm going to play that for our viewers. But you know what? While you're talking about the Venezuelans they have a map there, their map with that part of Essequibo on the map. And we are proud to, Robert Prasad is proud to announce that. And
no
this
shame.
is telling you that these people have no shame. No shame whatsoever. That from the time you would have noticed that, you were supposed to pick up your phone and call the commander or call the commissioner and get them to send their ranks there, because you're seeing right there and then that these people are not loyal to whoever offering them help. They're not loyal to us. And you know what? The PPP, what the PPP is failing to understand, that if that referendum comes off on December 3rd, that all the Venezuelans who we got here, whether they're born or Guyanese parentage, or even some of the Guyanese, they will vote for it. And we don't seem to understand that. I remember being a little girl and I'm hearing this story about Barbados when they started to treat Guyanese badly. You know what Lyndon Sampson Burnham did? He sent the troops out there to rally all of them, pick them up from wherever they were, and he sent them back to their homeland. Exactly. Why are we still tolerating the kind of foolishness here? Is it because we want the votes? Is it because we don't care about our Guyanese people? What is it? The PPP must tell us that.
Well, I can help them. We can help them
They will
correct
tell
because
us that.
the truth
Where
is, Madam Member of Parliament. Sorry, but this I'm boiling with this right here inside of me tonight,
Yep.
and they have to blame you for inviting me in the program. Listen, the truth is, when I observe the ethnicity of these people,
Mhm.
the complexion of their skin,
Yep.
it tells me everything of the PPP Civic. Because what is the chance that only the Indo-looking Venezuelans and the what they call the fair-skinned Venezuelans want to come together in greater numbers? What happened? You don't have black people in Venezuela? So the black ones have a problem then. So the one who spoke for Jagdeo yesterday is a hardcore Indian-looking person. So that is the fact. The PPP knows, in their mind, they think that based on people's complexion and their hair texture, you'll vote for us. So you come together and we'll make things work. I am not afraid, neither am I ashamed to say exactly what I know about these people. They are racist and they're destructive to our country's well-being. That's a fact, and they've proven it to me enough for it to be a fact.
In addition to that, Nigel, have you ever been able to check out the way the Venezuelan women dress? Our women here have been taught to dress decently and to be modest in their dressing. Do you see the way they dress here? As a matter of fact, I saw a video the other day with a Venezuelan woman naked walking along the seawall and people making fun of her. And you know what? Nobody is picking these people up. Nobody telling them anything. You're living in your communities that have been so decent over the years. And you know what? These Venezuelan women come and they wear all sorts of clothing. Sometimes it's better they don't put on any at all.
My sister, it's now being advertised. I mean, you're not a man. So in my circle, it's being advertised among men in Guyana. Get a Benny. Their bodies, they're now the number one prostitutes. That's what Jagdeo and those people enjoying in reference to what's happening in our country. The Venezuelan ladies are now known to be the top brand for prostitution. Is that what we want in our country?
That's where we got to now.
Is that what we're looking for? Because if people don't know, the Venezuelans, by culture, love knives. Know that. It's normal for them to have a knife in their waist, go in the mining area, you know what I'm talking about. It's normal for them to have knives in their waist because they love to cut and to stab. And the whoredom is taking a foot of our country. But I must say to you, Madam Member of Parliament, correct and listen to me. The likes of those in the administration, they would enjoy what they see in these families because they're lawless men. And may I say women, they got shame. Let me forget English right now. They got no shame. They don't care. So for them, this is a party. Bring them in. And then they have the dens of evil in which will enjoy these same prostitutes to the destruction and the peril of morality in our country. That's what we're dealing with in reference to the PPP Civic Administration. They're wicked.
You know, Nigel, I am so upset with this entire situation that is happening. And we have a head of state, installed head of state. The head of state was placed there. He didn't go through the normal process of being the presidential candidate. He was picked out and selected and put there. We have a head of state who can't say to this nation, who can't give this nation any kind of assurance that you are safe. None whatsoever. And I know they're going to monitor our program to say we're trying to incite anxiety and we're trying to incite this or we're trying to incite that. But the fact is, this is what is happening. When you listen to the statements that are being made by Maduro, when you watch the videos where these people are distributing flyers in their country, talking about the referendum, talking about Guyana is theirs, that part of Guyana is theirs. It is alarming and we have to be alarmed. And our people, this nation must be kept abreast every day or every 2 days with what is happening. I mean, we wouldn't want to know the fine details of what our armed men are doing, but this nation must be kept abreast with what it's doing. Let's look at this video here.
crees? Porque Guyana lo que quiere es la guerra, nosotros vamos con nuestra diplomacia de paz a defender el Esequibo. Así es, y lo vamos a ganar. ¿Por qué vamos a votar este 3 de diciembre? Por la defensa de nuestros derechos históricos en la Guayana Esequiba. Nosotros no caemos en provocaciones, pero sí sabemos defender nuestros derechos históricos. Venezuela tiene la razón histórica, tiene la razón moral, y nosotros no vamos a permitir que vengan los imperios, ni los antiguos, ni los de hoy, a arrebatarnos ese territorio. Y hemos aprovechado también en el mercado a cielo abierto, viendo cómo marcha el plan Proteína junto a la jefa de comunidad, junto a todos los habitantes de este sector, viendo lo que es estos mercados con precios accesibles a nuestro pueblo. Un ahorro del 92%, realmente muy impresionante. Muy buenos productos. 5 veces sí. Ajá. Así es, y lo vamos a ganar. ¿Por qué vamos a votar este 3 de diciembre? Por la defensa de nuestros derechos históricos en la Guayana Esequiba. Nosotros no caemos en provocaciones, pero sí sabemos defender nuestros derechos históricos. Venezuela tiene la razón histórica, tiene la razón moral, y nosotros no vamos a permitir que vengan los imperios, ni los antiguos, ni los de hoy, a arrebatarnos ese territorio. Y hemos aprovechado también en el mercado a cielo abierto, viendo cómo marcha el plan Proteína junto a la jefa de comunidad, junto a todos los habitantes de este sector, viendo lo que es estos mercados con precios accesibles a nuestro pueblo. Un ahorro del 92%, realmente muy impresionante. Muy buenos productos. 5 veces sí. Ajá. Es nuestro.
We see there the vice president going out there distributing pamphlets and talking about Essequibo is an annex of Venezuela. It is theirs. Essequibo in Guyana. Well, of course, they can't say Guyana. And what, Nigel, I want to ask, where is Priya Manikchand on this? Why Priya walking the streets distributing flyers and doing education awareness? Where is Charles Ramson? Where is Vendi? Where is Pauline Sakai? Where all of them? Where is Frank Anthony and all these people? You don't see them coming out there, but we saw them when they wanted to talk about sanctimonious gangsters and riggers. And now we have a real crisis on our hands. You're not seeing them. You're not hearing anything from them. Outside of that, we're not hearing anything from Mia. Where is Mia Mortley? Where is Ralph Gonzalez? Where is Bruce Golding? Where is Sarah Lynch? Where all these people there who've been talking all the thing? Where are the guardians of democracy? We need to hear from them now. Now we need to hear from them. As a matter of fact, we have a man who is an advisor on security. Where is Jerry Gavaya? Where is Jerry Gavaya?
That's the main one we should look to, because he's advising on national security. Now our nation is threatened, not by what they call a political activist or Burke or Ben Sharp or you. We're threatened by an entire nation who's saying, and I would like to repeat for Priya Manikchand's sake, it is in the Venezuelan constitution that Essequibo is theirs. It is taught by curriculum that Essequibo is theirs. I think they say the sunrise in Essequibo. That's what they believe. And so when they say it, they're not saying it because they think it's a joke. They mean what they've said. We should therefore, as was with Burnham when I was in school, in our schools now, maybe three times a week, have our children sing the national songs. We have technology. Show our children show them or teach them about what happened in reference to the award of Guyana, Essequibo to Guyana and so on. Teach them. Let us go to our schools and instill our children in our minds that this is a serious situation, and as Guyanese, we own Essequibo. This is no longer about TikTok, hop around, dance around the place anymore. We must teach our children what Venezuela is teaching. There's counter it in the classroom. What we fail to do is take note of the fact that Venezuelans consistently teach in their classrooms that Essequibo belongs to them. Guyanese consistently teach everything maybe except that, as often it should be taught, and reinforcing it as well, as often it should be reinforced. So we are calling, or I would like to say on Monday, whenever they meet, for cabinet or for, in parliament, there should be a resounding call and cry, I say again, for there to be an intensification, well, I should say now, an awakening of patriotism in this country, and let Irfan Ali do what he is paid to do. Stand as a president and be sensible. If Jagdeo wants to interfere, put him in jail. Because we have to understand that you should never have so many of your arch enemies coming into your country. That is the most stupid thing to do. Have you forgotten about the Trojan horse? You heard about these things so often. You bring people in here, you don't even know what they're coming to, what their intentions are. And on December 3rd, every Venezuelan in this country has the right to vote if they are of age. The question is, what do we do after that vote would have been taken? And what would they do while they're here? Look at these strong young men. They don't look as if they're starving to me.
No.
Look at these robust individuals who are landing in our territory. They're so agile that they can jump out of the window of a moving bus.
A moving bus.
That should tell you that they're not ordinary people, the weaklings. We don't know if they're sending here, as I said with the Trojan horse, they're sending military personnel to the country just in case when December 3rd comes and the decision is taken. All right, we are already in the ground. Mostly we're in the city. We are working around them. We are working for them. Jagdeo is our boy. So we have all the information we need. Now it's time to act. And I would like to inform Guyanese, do not be surprised if a deal was struck so that certain of our leaders are untouched while they take what they want. I do not trust these wicked people.
That's true.
They sold us out on numerous occasions. ExxonMobil has done more than the gods to us. The one who's the natural resource, whatever he is, the fellow who can't account for $211 million, and he just got 15 days without pay and a warning. But Lowenfield is before the court.
Yes.
Patterson, please forgive me, I know you're a lady, but let me tell you that it is. Patterson paid. And he had to be charged.
Yes.
This man just cost $211 million.
Million US dollars. Don't forget that. Million US.
US. 40 plus or more billion. 40 plus billion Ghana dollars. Gone. I think $46 billion. Look. And he gets 15 days and no pay. Myers before the court. Mingo before the court. Patterson for being before the court. And this fella is on the job. He hasn't been fired. So why must I trust Irfan Ali, Bara Jagdeo, Anil Nandalal to do anything sensible? GPL is killing people. Where's Anil's brother? Wasn't Anil's brother supposed to be the one who turns around GPL?
Yes.
Patterson was so bad.
And it's not one day, it's 3 years now since they are in power. 3 years, and they can't fix it. And we have billions upon billions of dollars being approved by the National Assembly, and they still can't fix it. They talk about old generators. Now they can't bring the new generators. They can't bring the new generators.
Please permit me, Madam Member of Parliament. The generators are not old. Those generators came here, they commissioned them in November of 2000, I think, 2000. How could they be old? How are they old?
I'm talking about these. Well, Nigel, we need to put this thing into context. They said under the coalition had old generators. So they're replacing these old generators, and the coalition never serviced these machines, these generators and so on. But mind you, even while the generators were not being serviced according to them, we never had blackouts like this. We never had this. But they bring new generators now, according to them again, they bring new generators, but it's blackout all over their times when the entire country is shut down.
Man, let's be reasonable and fair. In November, the PPP administration, just after they were installed into office, all right, August 2nd, September, October, November. In November, the commission 5 new generators. In November of 2020. How they are, I'm asking, like, a generator is made to last 20 years. How are you telling me that when Patterson left, they were old, but in November, you commissioned 5 new ones. November of 2020. 3 years later, less than 3 years later, the generators are all failing. They said that Anil's brother is going to solve this problem. What was the problem he had? No, it's known. And I'm saying this platform for a reason. It's known that I don't support any political party. I support what is true and factual. The fact is that Patterson's watch, I don't know when we didn't have this situation. The thousands of miles of cables that were replaced, the upgrades to certain stations. This country didn't have this problem. Anil's brother, I call his name all the time. Anil's brother was brought here to fix the problem. Now we have got disaster because they cannot tell me. I will not even repeat the asinine, stupid, nonsensical garbage. Don't tell me that a 3-year-old generator is old. Tell me where the money went that should have been used to service those equipment. Tell me how we have in Essequibo, for example, a PPP crony's son who doesn't know anything about electricity production. He's running the company. Let them tell me that. How you got this boy sent to Essequibo, getting all kinds of money and privileges, driving like some king, while the generators are failing because they don't know how to maintain them. And even if they do, they can't. Tell us in Linden, for example, why our water is brown like the river. Because they refuse to invest money in GWI, even in Linden. These people are ridiculous.
And you have Nigel, you have this clown who always like to monkey himself around to talk about he knows the Queen's English the best, so he could talk about this and talk about that, but he must tell us how just after he became a minister he could put up a big mansion. He must tell us that where he got those monies from. And last week I remarked, I said there was another PPP member, minister as a matter of fact, who said when she was questioned, she said, well, her relatives used to send monies in barrel. Maybe his family used to send monies in barrel for him too. But he must tell us, Indar must tell us, and one Ejil must tell us what is happening in this country, not only with GPL, but with our roads. All them roads that they're doing, they're breaking after 3 mornings. Just yesterday, a citizen was saying to me in Pleasance area there, they did a road. And when she came out to question the contractor about the road, Sparrandam, somewhere there, they're doing this road. And when she started to question the contractor on the way that she noticed they're doing the road, the man cussed the woman out.
See?
So these people are a set of pompous people. And all they are consistent with is being crooks, scamps, corrupt, and they know how to discriminate, and they know about bringing drugs and shipping drugs out of this country and how to fill their pockets. That's what they know good. One Ejil should be ashamed of himself. He should strip bishop from the front of his name because he's no bishop. A bishop ought to be a man who stands for righteousness. He doesn't stand for anything.
Disgraceful. Because let me make it clear to Guyanese if you don't know. Because of my field, I work in construction as well. I understand what happens. What they do, and that's why people, if a contract is given, for example, for a road to be built for, let's say, $11 million, I'm telling you what these people do. The contractor, who has to be a friend of the PPP, of course, will pay another person, let's say about $5 million or $4 million to do the road, and he pockets $7 million. I'm telling you what I know. So they're not building the road to the tune of $11 million. They build it for $4 million, and the contractor has to get $7 million to give back to the minister and all the friends involved. $5 million. He's lucky if he gets $2 million in his hand. That these people are mercenaries when it comes to robbing our state. And that is why the Venezuelans will come into our country, goes back to them again, and have a ball. Because the attention is not on national safety and security. It's on how much can they pocket for generations to come.
And
These
to
people
remain
must
in
be
power.
dealt with. Yes, they
And
must
to
be
remain.
dealt with. By Guyanese at large, it must be dealt with.
And Nigel, we must remind our Guyanese citizens that if this government were serious about this whole territorial controversy that we are having here, we would not have seen policia on our police vehicles and
Exactly.
on the police station at Wisma and elsewhere. These people are not serious and they are wicked, and these people must be thrown out. We don't need them here. Imagine Guyana, an English-speaking country, and you put in blasting policia on our vehicles. Any part of this world you go, you would recognize a police vehicle. You don't have to see it marked on the vehicle. You recognize the police vehicle because there are certain things that are on police vehicles. Anywhere across this world you go, you recognize an ambulance. So I don't know what's this big thing, but maybe Jagdio and Irfan Ali, they knew exactly what they did. Maybe there was some deal struck somewhere. So they started putting all these Spanish words around the place, And Ali made the big announcement, Spanish will be compulsory in schools. Our children can't even master the English. Fair enough. We're not being biased to say that it is not good to teach our children Spanish, but you must master your own language before you attempt to learn another language.
Ali must master English language first, not our children. My daughter speaks better than Irfan Ali, a million times better than Irfan Ali. My son, who's 7, speaks better than Irfan Ali. And that's not taking a job at the president. Irfan Ali doesn't know how to speak properly. So how you want to teach Spanish and you can't speak English properly? And let me say this to all Guyanese who have sense. If you didn't buy a driver's license, you will know that they teach you that there's certain things called international codes and symbols. The color of the police lights on a vehicle are international. The fire truck has an international code. The truck beyond 30 feet have an international code. Because we import them, we don't make them here. We don't make any vehicle in Guyana. So you import them with certain things installed because that's the code. You don't need to see police here to know it's a police vehicle. It's an international code. So these morons wanted to give the impression that if they put police here there, then Venezuelans are going to be more inclined to think we won. Or maybe they want to announce to Maduro that, hey, Guyana is yours. So we're gradually coming on board with you. We have police in our vehicles and we're about to give you a portion of a secure boat. We don't know. I don't put anything beyond a criminal gang. I'm telling the truth. I'm speaking the truth here. I put nothing beyond these things because of what I've seen them do. I have seen them say when Justice Singh said, listen, Justice Kissoon said, you have to have unlimited insurance to protect Guyana from an oil spill. These people joined to fight against us. How can you say these men love Guyana when they have joined to fight us, the people? They fought a justice in the court to say, we're not accepting what you said. Don't put anything beyond this criminal gang. That's what they are.
Everything is
the hardcore mafia.
Everything is a shady business with the PPP. Everything under, around, at the side, and everywhere about the PPP is a shady business. And so you can't put your neck on a block to say, look, they mean well. They are doing well. I mean, you talk about putting up huge buildings and doing some road improvement projects. That's what you're supposed to do as a government. That's your obligation to fix the roads. In Georgetown, we get in brown water in Georgetown. I was talking to some staff from GWI and they're complaining bitterly. They're being forced to work on weekends. And if they don't turn up, they're getting letters. Their salaries are deducted. They're getting warning letters. If they don't work on weekends, they're pulling them to do all sorts of things. And then they're bringing big their own people who they are making contractors and they're making supervisors, and the regular staff there, you have to teach them the work. And they're drawing big fancy salaries and you just earning a meager salary. What is happening with these people?
While you're there, you know the quality of water in Georgetown, certain parts of Georgetown. Know the quality of water. Linden has brown water. When you are in Babis, the water is crystal clear in certain communities. I tell you what I know.
And
the
I believe it.
taste is you could drink it from the pipe. Not in London. Because it seems in certain communities, you are not allowed to do the right thing. And in some cases, those who are heading the institutions are afraid to do the right thing and to stand up for their people. And it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. And I've been hearing that they intended to, or they intend to at some point, try to get light and so on to the Venezuelan communities, back them again, because they don't want them to live in squalor. They have to try to upgrade them so they could not be in shanty towns. Really?
But our people could live in all kinds of conditions.
Oh, come on.
Our people could live under all kinds of conditions, but you're bringing the Venezuelans here and you're giving them all kinds of privileges. But the Haitians, you dump them in the lockups, pass them through court, put them on big fancy bail, and then you deported them. And you're talking about CARICOM. And then you want to talk about one Guyana for who? Not the people in Guyana. For some people, not the people. I am from the quarantine. I've been traveling the quarantine every now and then. And you know what? I go into Bloomfield where Mustafa lives. And every street in Bloomfield is done. And when you go to Manchester, Liverpool, and Lancaster, and Ulverston, and Alness, and those villages, if you see the dams that those people got to walk in. If you see the dams that those people got to walk in, you go down to the back of Firish and you see what is happening there. But you pass other places in Albion and so on, and you see what is happening there with the roads. You see what's happening there with their water situation, with their trenches and their drains. You go into Sophia, the water is stagnant till it stinks. You know? And then I saw Barrett Jagdio over the weekend. He was in Dazzle Housing Scheme, and this man ain't got no shame. This man threw Clifton Hickens, Robeson Ben, and all of them he threw under the bus. You know what he said? It was misguided. It was wrong from the inception for them to put police on the police vehicles.
Exactly.
And what did you do about it since you knew that it was wrong? Why didn't you ask them to pull it off? But you know what I tell people around
you. It's not, it's misguided. The police should have never put police here there. What? They should have, it's misguided. They should have never. It's not the emblem.
Take it out. Take it. You see the man there? Now this man always appears as if he is the savior. He always creating mischief and then coming to behave as if he's the savior. Why did you allow it from the first time you heard the outcry? Why didn't you ask Higgins to get them in, pull in all those vehicles and get it off? But you know what? I tell citizens across this country, when those vehicles stop you and it got police here on it, marked on it, you just behave as if you don't know English. English? No English. You don't know English. You don't understand what they're saying. Because since they got police on the vehicle, it means that they must talk Spanish. You speak in Spanish. So let them speak Spanish to you. I mean, it is disgusting and distasteful.
It is, and that's my plan. It remains my plan. As long as I see police in the vehicle, they stop me, I say, buenos dias, senor. They say anything to me, no hablo English. And they have to speak to me in Spanish. Yeah. Because they look for it. I intend to do it with all my heart. And mean what I'm saying to you. If they say anything to me, no comprende English, and they have to speak to me in Spanish because I intend to do this nonsense, and they cannot demand that I speak English either. It is just foolish, to say the least.
Stupid.
And Robeson Ben said that it was because of the influx of Venezuelans. That's what he said. That they've chosen to do this because of the number of Venezuelans coming to Guyana. So what happened to the Chinese? What happened to Portuguese?
What happened to the Haitians?
They are not allowed. Look at Robeson Ben, an African man by descendant, by ancestry. He cannot even speak to defend his own African in terms of Haitian. But he said, they put it there because of the influx of Venezuelans. Now, come on, this is an international code. But I must say something here in reference to my thought process. I saw Van West Charles. I know I'm willing to you have to say this, but Van West is ambassador to Venezuela. I haven't heard from him I haven't seen Van West say, well, listen, this aggression is not right, and he's calling Irfan to fix it. Me, I need to know what this ambassador is being paid to do, because there's now hostility in reference to the referendum, in reference to the new call or the research call. There's now Venezuela, the sunrise in Essequibo. What is Van Westphal doing in reference to the situation here for Ali? Because you gave him credential to be ambassador.
Where is he though? Is he here or is he in Venezuela?
Heaven knows where he is. And what I find to be frightening is that this is the person who said he wanted to hit the PNC.
Yes.
No, I don't know what you have to talk about this, but I say it anyhow, because I don't know what owe any of them anything. This person who said he wants to be the head of the opposition group is now representing Guyana at this time, and I don't see a statement from this ambassador. I don't know what he's going to negotiate. As you said, Jerry Gavaya, maybe flying in sheriff helicopter, because I don't see Jerry anywhere. With all these Venezuelans hopping here, Jerry's paid handsomely. I would like to advise Guyanese with sense, for us to organize a protest for Irfan to answer regarding Venezuela. Maybe on December 3rd. On the 3rd of December, we should go out and tell Irfan, come and join us outside now, to march to the Venezuelan embassy to show them to be in solidarity. We ain't playing games here. You have a long time. On the 3rd of December, all Guyanese, let's show how united we are, must take to the streets to march against this referendum in Venezuela, including Barajaglio, Irfan Ali, Norton, everybody. We getting together now. We won. One people, one nation, one destiny. Let's see how many of them will come and do that. We walk all the way to the U.S. Embassy, because nobody break up anything. We're walking together now.
Yep.
We walk to the U.S. Embassy and say, you all need to deal with this. Venezuelan embassy, you all need to deal with this.
But you know what is alarming, Nigel, is the fact that our Guyana Defense Force ranks, nobody seems to know where they are and how these people bypassing all of them. Where are they? Is it that they were told to stand down? Is that what they were told, to stand down and allow the Venezuelans to come in here? Because we're seeing the Venezuelans coming all over. They touch down at Tushen, they touching down in Wakenham, they touching down at Anna Regina, they're coming through this port, they're coming through that port. Where are our army ranks? Where are they?
Please note how strategic it is. You said something so very powerful, Madam Member Parliament. They're coming at different locations. This is a military tactic. They're not landing in one place. Anybody in the army knows what I'm talking about. They're not focusing their attention on one spot. So if you try to go one area, they come somewhere else. They're dispersing across the coast. Ask yourself why.
Yep.
Isn't Omar Khan the head of the army? You're
What
supposed
is
to be
he
something
doing?
special this year.
What is he doing? And you know what? And you know what they're going to do? They're going to take our young boys, our young sons, our young nephews, our young uncles, and post them out there. But you know what? I got news for them, because Priya, Sonia, Susan, Dirty Man, Dharamlal, the other one we named Pasad, all of them, including Jerry and Joe Singh and the whole crew, all of them we can send out there. They must go out there to represent us. They must go there. They must go there. They must say to our brothers and sisters, our indigenous brothers and sisters who are living on the outskirts there, we have your backs. All of them must go out there. Kwame, Todd, Gail, Teixeira, the whole crew we are going to send out there, because they're not going to put our young boys out there to risk their lives while they sit around here and have big parties and dance. And you know, the other thing that really, really annoys me is the fact that every 2 mornings we bring in Marshall Montano here. Where is a song from Marshall? Where is a song from Marshall in support of Guyana? Where is he? Where is Mia's voice? Mia had a whole lot of talks. Where is she? I hear she coming in this weekend, you know. She always ducking in and out of Guyana when the weekends come, and they're gone to let them, and they're gone all over the place. I hear she coming in this weekend. But you know what? We are a group of people who always sit down and we relax and we take everything. We should go and block the airport and let me know that you're not welcome here. Since you can't speak for us, you're not welcome here. Bruce Gordon should never step foot back in this country. Ralph Gonzalez should never be allowed to come back to this country because they don't care about us. They come here and get big concessions, and we live in here all the days of our lives, and we can't even get a piece of land. And big concessions they get in. And you know what they throw back to us? Black belly sheep, a couple black belly sheep. When it's not black belly sheep, it's couple fowl cock they throw and give us. That's what is worth all our concession, our lands, and so on. Could you imagine that?
50,000 acres. The Indian got, I think, 126,000 acres of land. We have to understand what's happening to us as a people, as Guyanese in general, not by ethnicity alone.
So we have to as a people, we have to understand that it's not only the Venezuelans we're in crisis with, we're in crisis with the Bajans and those from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and those from all over the place. We in shambles with all of them, and we must say to them, Guyana is ours, and we're not prepared to give it up for anybody. Whether you're part of CARICOM or not, we're not prepared to give our lands up to you, because when we go to your territory, we have to toe the line. And if by chance we happen to misbehave, they're posting us back to where we belong. So it's time for us not to take nonsense and to go by every word of this song from Dave Martin and the trade winds. Not a blade of grass, we ain't giving up. Not a blue saki, not a one, nothing. We ain't giving it up. And those who live in big here on our sweat and the sweat of our foreparents, they should be made to pay every cent. And they should be made to pay just the same way we are paying. I mean, Guyanese living here like paupers. And we got people coming in this country and living like big boys and big girls. Could you imagine that?
We have to fight.
They got hotels here that we can't, restaurants here that a regular Guyanese can't go to. You know, again, let me say this. I visited Sheriff Hospital the other day because I have some things coming out on my face, and it started since 2020 with the mask that we used to have to wear. And you know what? $70,000 I had to spend one day. You tell me which public servant could afford that?
Wow.
You tell me, why can't we have these kinds of services at the Georgetown Hospital or at New Amsterdam Hospital or at Anna Regina or in Linden? Why can't we have it, or in Bartica? Why do we have to always venture to the private sector when we want better service? Why?
And while you're on that, I know of people who work in vessels and so on out at sea. The Exxon said, and every guy needs to hear this, that our butchery and so on, they're not up to the ISO standard, which is national standard, so we cannot sell the meat to them. I saw that 1 pound of meat, a special cut, that we are paying for Guyanese, by the way, 1 pound, was sold, the worker showed me, for $135 US. That's what Exxon buys it for, from somebody in Georgetown who's supplying them. The person's importing the meat and they're selling it to Exxon. I'm telling you, the PPP is out to rape us through Exxon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
$135 US for one special cut. Imagine paying $26,000 or $27,000 for 1 pound of beef for ExxonMobil people on the board, because they can't eat ordinary meat. It came from Iowa.
Yep.
We have to pay for that. We have got a crisis on our hand, and the word has to be repeated to Guyanese. All of us, we don't have an ethnic crisis here alone. We have a crisis of great proportions that are spilled into the PPP, thinking that they are so much above the average Guyanese that we have to bow the big boys. And they would rape our nation of its resources. They will sell it out to people. And as you said, look at what's happening in reference to a private hospital. how many middle-class Guyanese workers in the public service can afford to go to pay $70, $80, $90, $100, $200,000 hospital bills? What is happening to us as a people? How many teachers can afford to do that?
Well, you want them starve? You want them starve for the rest of the month? Huh? A public servant I saw just the other day was complaining that her salary is $82,000 and they deducted some monies from her. And when she questioned it, she was given a letter and a letter that said she was insubordinate because she questioned deductions coming from her monies. And she's a single parent. I have another video there to show with a young lady who was complaining bitterly. She's selling ice cream on the seawall. And she was told that she's got to remove from there.
You must remove. Who owns the seawalls?
The first lady.
So it seems.
The first lady owns the seawall. So she got to move, the woman got to remove from there. What you want her to do? You want her to become a prostitute? You want her to go and rob people on the road? What you want her to do? She's trying to earn an honest living. What you want her to do? Huh? So these people ain't serious about Guyanese people. They don't love Guyanese people. They love your votes when it's time for elections. Huh? And you notice how they're busy all over the place? All over the place, they're busy because they realize that countdown time is coming. So they're busy.
Let me inform you, Madam Member of Parliament. I could tell you why they don't want people to see walls, because I was there racing this weekend. And I went to buy one can of soda, we call sweet drink, a can, metal can. In the stores, it's sold for $140 maximum. I had to pay $600 for it in one of those shops. $600 for $140. So that's why they don't want to sell ice cream there.
Well,
because the friends have to have those booths and those shops occupied.
Well, Nigel, when I go in out there, I walk in with my own thing in the trunk of my car in a cooler. Because I ain't paying $600. Sorry.
For one can of soda.
No, $600 will give me 2 bottles. What you call 2 1-liter bottles? The 1 liter or 2 liter bottles. $600 will give me 2 of that.
Yes.
I ain't going there to buy no tin of ginger ale or whatever or Coke or whatever. I'm not going to buy it. No, I'm not going to do that. Not that one. There's another one. I am not going to pay that amount of money for it because it's me. Well, I ain't gonna drink this sweet drink. I can drink a shandy or something, and I might have to pay $600 for that too.
Easily, because that's why I'm saying they don't want the woman selling there because they have to protect the friends in business. But I asked them, who owns the seawalls?
I have a family of 5, so 6 5s are 30. Plus, we eat nothing yet, so I can walk with my plantain chips. I can walk with my chicken foot. If I gonna make 2 hot dogs from home, we gonna make it and walk with it, or we gonna fry some chicken, put it in we bowl, put it in the back of the car trunk, and when we go out to the seawall, we will open the trunk and we will sit and eat. We ain't spending them kind of monies because at the end of the day, I don't get anything in return. What I get, bumpy roads with big holes, bending my tire, bending my car rim. I got to change the tire, bursting my tire. That's what I get in return. They're not sorry for me. And at the end of the month, I get big fancy GPL bill. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? GWI, they are out to rob people in this country. GWL in 3 weeks or in a matter of a month sent me 3 bills. One for $33,000, one for $39,000, and one for $30,000. And I'm asking, is what I doing? I ain't got no car wash. What doing one time at weekends? I wash my clothing. What is sending me all this? During the day, nobody is at home. So you're telling me in the mornings and in the evenings, we using all that water? When I went to carry those bills, you know what? We paid the $33,000 first because, well, of course, we didn't want the water to cut off, but we weren't going to pay it. But you know how you men behave sometimes. Paid because I didn't want here the MP water to get cut off. The 33,000 was paid. You know, that was paid in February of this year. You know, GWI still got monies for me because I behaved crazy when I went there. Asked them, "What are you sending all these bills to me for? What do I have?" And you know what they tell me? That is what the meter is registering. That is what is registered in the meter. So I had to tell them, come find the meter for me and show me what it's reading. Come find it. You know, they couldn't find it. So they have, up to now, they have credit for me. Because I tell them, find it and show me. And if you can't find it and show me, then you owe me $33,000. You can find the monies back and give me. They still got credit for me right now. Now, you know what? Some ordinary citizens would have been, as a matter of fact, they came to disconnect my water. And I had to tell them, you disconnect my water. And in a minute, I will bring, before you even drive off, I will get people to come and reconnect it. So you disconnect it. Right. You disconnect my water. And
Thank you for standing so strong.
The same GPL did the same thing to me a couple of years ago, sent me a bill for $89,000 for 1 month.
Oh my goodness.
And I ain't got no big fancy nothing in my house. Huh? I got the regular things in my house. $89,000. When I question that, they tell me that is what the meter is showing. I said, well, take the meter off. Take it off and take off your wire. You take it off. I don't want it anymore. I'm not paying that. You know, when I went there with them foot to foot to foot. You know what it boiled down to? $22,000.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and so
because they have to pay the big boys.
That is what they're doing to poor people in this country. That's what they're doing to poor people in this country. Everywhere you go, they're robbing you. And that's why they could live fancy and dance fancy and eat fancy, because the interest of the people of this country is not within their hearts. They don't care. I see Irfan Ali walking all over the place that he tasting cook up and he tasting cook up. Foolishness. When we got serious issues, you monkey yourself around this place. I get very upset.
We have to, you should be upset, and every Guyanese who is rational should be upset at what's happening in our country, because we are losing footing in reference to our future and our posterity. There is too much at stake. We are the richest country in the world per capita. We are small in population with excessive wealth. Look at the nonsense in reference to, look, bienvenido. These people are crazy. Look at what they're doing to us. There has never been a party, never, that has mocked Guyana more than this crop right here.
Than this here.
This people right here, they have made a mockery of us as a nation. A total joke of us as a people.
And they're very pompous with themselves. Very, very pompous with themselves. From Charles Bronson right down.
Right down. As simple as it seems. Look at what they're doing. These people have narrowed a roadway where only one truck was passed. And to go to Jagir's house, you see how wide the road is.
Yep.
To go into where Irfan has his property, look at how the road is.
Yes.
To go into Prattville 1, look at how the roads are. So what are you telling us as Londoners? We are dying for heat. It's
Nigel, to go to Windsor Castle where girlfriend Priya lives, you see the road, how the road do up fancy. You know what they do?
Okay, then.
Drain all the water from there and lead it into the back of Moko. That's what these wicked people is doing.
That's what they did.
When they got any flooding, when they get any excess water behind anywhere there, they drain all over into Moko. Wicked people. And we cannot condone these kinds of foolishness. You know, I saw the other day, we had a big march for Palestine. I hope we're going to have a march for ourselves, because we got Palestine right here. I'm hoping we're going to have a march for ourselves. And I'm hoping that civil-minded citizens and right-thinking citizens will come out and stand up and talk against all these atrocities that are going on. But you know what? Some of them will come out because they're drawing the big fat cat salaries. They're getting contracts here, there, and everywhere. They're getting land concessions here, there, and everywhere. So they're not going to come out. They're not going to come out.
Exactly. So true. So true. But we have to stand. I hope that on the 3rd of December, every Guyanese would come and join the protest, or a march of solidarity, a patriotic march, call it what you want. We should all, if you mean business, and I hope in Parliament it is raised, that on the same day they want to go voting is the same day we must be on the street, protesting or standing as a people, united.
And I'm hoping, Nigel, that the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture,
Yes.
Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, all the ministries, that they are going to take some of the monies that they have there, print T-shirts that read, Guyana is ours, and distribute to every Guyanese across this country so that we can march with our flat map there saying Guyana belongs to us. Essequibo is ours. I hope they can do that. Because you know, all of them banking all over the overseas and all over the place, they're banking them our monies. I hope they can come together and print T-shirts like crazy and give it to our people. Even the Venezuelans, I hope they can give it to them. But before we close, yes, but before we close, I want us to play this video, because the entire Guyana must come out against Barra Jagyo and ask him to apologize to this nation for this nonsense. Operator, if you have that video, just play it there for us. Everybody must come out and ask him to apologize for this nonsense.
El líder del partido político de la oposición citó que están preocupados por la presencia de tantos inmigrantes venezolanos aquí en Guyana, lo cual desencadenó una ola de mucha preocupación entre dicha comunidad, los venezolanos, me incluyo yo, y también desencadenó algunos incidentes de discriminación en contra de dicha comunidad. Sin embargo, ayer 30 de octubre por la tarde, en una reunión que se sostuvo en el Centro de Conferencias de la Nación, el vicepresidente hizo unas declaraciones súper importantes para la comunidad venezolana. Su señoría, el doctor Barra Jagdio, vicepresidente de la República Cooperativa de Guyana, asegura en nombre del Partido Progresista para el Pueblo que no están apoyando ningún tipo de campaña de odio, de discriminación o de xenofobia como lo hace el APNU. PPP se rige por principios de unidad, de inclusión y de integración y de igualdad también. Entonces, habiendo dicho eso, el vicepresidente reitera, enfatiza y asegura que los venezolanos que estamos residiendo aquí no tenemos que preocuparnos con el PPP, ya que ellos nos toman en cuenta, ellos están muy contentos con el trabajo, con la honestidad que hemos venido demostrando a lo largo de estos periodos, que podemos seguir trabajando aquí como de costumbre, podemos seguir llevando a nuestros niños a las escuelas, si nos sentimos mal podemos seguir asistiendo a los hospitales, ya que ellos se asegurarán de que haya inclusión e integración y cero discriminación, cero xenofobia, nada de eso con el PPP. Y ojo, aquellas personas que entren en prácticas indebidas, ilegales, serán penalizadas como cualquier otro ciudadano, como cualquier otra persona que entre en dichas prácticas. Así que a portarse bien. Así que yo creo que con dichas declaraciones que se hicieron en esa reunión el día de ayer, ya podemos estar un poquito más ciertos de lo que es nuestro futuro aquí, ya que estos días pasados fueron de mucha tensión, hubo mucha incertidumbre entre nosotros, entre los venezolanos, con lo que nos depara el futuro. Y bueno, gracias a Dios el vicepresidente se ha pronunciado junto al gobierno, junto a todo el partido político del PPP, demostrando una vez más su compromiso con todas las personas que residen aquí en Guyana, incluyendo esta comunidad venezolana, una minoría vulnerable de inmigrantes. Muchas gracias PPP, muchas gracias a todos los miembros del PPP, del gobierno actual de Guyana. Los queremos mucho y estamos dispuestos a contribuir. Una vez más, muchísimas gracias en nombre de la comunidad venezolana al gobierno de Guyana, al PPP. Estamos agradecidos de por vida por permitirnos estar aquí y estamos dispuestos a seguir contribuyendo.
So Nigel, you see what we are seeing there, and I'm hoping that our viewers are seeing there. This is Barra Jagdeo. This is the demon that we have to deal with. And this is what he's setting up the Venezuelans to do, to behave as if there are certain people in this country who like them and others who don't like them. And if we don't like them, we have a right not to like them because they can't come here and get first preference. They can't be first-class citizens in our country. This wicked man, Jagdeo, and every citizen should ask him to apologize for this nonsense.
Apologize? My sister, he should no longer even be allowed to live in Ghana. He should go live in Venezuela with them. Ghanaians have got to rise and be strong enough to fight people who are disrespectful. This man is saying in the midst of a crisis that Venezuelans, APNU has an issue with Venezuelans. The PPP is different. So he's telling a Venezuelan that the opposition party, the main party, is against Venezuelans, while the PPP is in support of Venezuelans. Yet he's asking us to function, or at least saying, let's get together. We have a crisis, and the PPP supporters are saying that we should all act as if we're united, as you know, because Ghana faces the. We don't have the same crisis. Our crisis is that the PPP are seeking to engage our enemies so that APNU has not been an election. That's a fact. We don't have the same crisis. They don't care about Essequibo. They care about whether they win an election. And Barra Jagdeo, I don't want an apology from this man. He needs to be exiled. Because we are in a hostile time in reference to territorial issues. This is not a case about Venezuela is quiet and this happens. They're about to vote on the 3rd of December. And a man who's there as a vice president has got a Venezuelan national saying that APNU treats Venezuelans badly, but the PPP will protect them. So he's already creating a division in our country. And again, look at the ethnicity of this one who's talking. There's an Indo, in references is ethnicity. Venezuelan here, speaking against APNU. And Jagdeo is saying, we'll protect you all because APNU's bad. I don't want an apology from you. This again is where Irfan Ali cannot preserve his legacy. Irfan should act now because he can't. Actually, he should. To deal with Barrett. Because Barrett is causing or undermining what Irfan does. Remember when Irfan talked about having an oil refining job? You said there's no such plan on the table.
Yes.
Now again, Irfan is saying, listen, we have a problem. Venezuela says Essequibo is this and we have to stand together. Jagdeo said, no, APNU is the problem, not Venezuela. Because you're welcome here, you're safe here. This man is a threat to the integrity and the well-being of our nation. Barra Jagdeo has got to be drawn to the front of the class and be made an example by Guyanese people. He should go in exile because he's against Guyana.
And you know,
in Parliament on Thursday, on next week, what would he say? What would he say to us in Parliament?
I want to say to Guyanese in every community, when you see this man turn up in your community, chase him.
Chase him out.
Chase him. He's not worthwhile being coming to your community. You don't want to hear his filthy talks. Chase him when he come around because he doesn't have your interests at heart. We are having a crisis with the Venezuelans. The vice president in Venezuela is talking about claiming our territory. We have so many Venezuelans coming in this country at strategic points, and you still embracing them and talking foolishness. This man should be chased out of every community. We shouldn't allow him to come to Guyana. Huh? You have no interest in us. You have no interest in us, neither our children. Nothing about this country you have interest in. All the monies that Barra Jagdeo get, he should be stripped of every portfolio. And again, let me say, Barra Jagdeo is the doctor of doom. He has no respect for anybody in this country. None whatsoever. And he doesn't worth our respect to call him any vice president. Barrett Rosen Jagdeo, he must go. He must go.
I agree with you. And every Guyanese should agree with you.
Every community across this country.
It is my hope, as we close, it is my hope that when there's this emergency meeting held in Parliament, that APNU AFC does not allow this right here to just be brushed away so we can speak as though we're united. We cannot be united while Jagdeo does this to Guyanese. He has done this to Guyanese, not to APNU AFC. He has to be dealt with even in Parliament. He should be sanctioned in Parliament because if there's a crisis, he should never do this.
Well, I am trying to find out what would be the speaker's remarks on this.
He needs to go too.
Well, he should have been gone a long time because he doesn't understand anything. Nothing. And imagine we got our people starving in this country. They can't get jobs. And we got a man named Joseph Hamilton, who they say is the Minister of Labor. But that's a whole nother different story we got to get into. But he ain't worthwhile right now because he can't do anything to save himself, more so to save us from the crisis that we are in. But these people are a sick bunch of people. Priya Manik Chand, I remember there was a time when children could not go to school if they hadn't documents. Now, all the Venezuelans going, whether they got documents or not, they're allowed to go to school. And these people talking about their Guyanese, I wonder where some of these people really born. Huh? These people are scamps and crooks, and they are the sanctimonious gangsters.
Yes.
Them and all their family and their friends who they're joining with, Mia and the whole side of them. But we will have to continue this conversation because we cannot continue to allow these scamps and these crooks to sell us out to Venezuela. We cannot allow that. No. Our foreparents worked hard. LFS Burnham and Shelley Jagan, they fought hard to give us independence. They fought hard to ensure that document was signed years ago.
Yes.
And we will not allow their sacrifices to go down the drain. We will not allow that. Nigel, I want to thank you so much for being here because, I get so worked up because I am here and I'm under threat. Let me say that. We are under threat. We don't know if tomorrow morning those Venezuelans will pick up some knives and start running helter-skelter in our communities and start slaughtering people. We don't know. Huh? Exactly. But we give them a free way, a free walk, free everything. They dress anyhow, they behave anyhow, Have you seen those two videos with them beating those two soldier boys? Huh? And the Guyana Defense Force sit down and they're quiet on this. Until they felt shame, they put out a statement, this one young man, he was absent from duty for a whole year. What the hell are you telling people in this country? Huh?
He's Guyanese.
You should be sending out all your intelligence to find out where was this, when it happened, how it happened, where is this rank. That's what you should be doing. But Omar down there.
Nobly. Cough that up.
Behind Irfan Ali, when Irfan Ali dressed up as if he is Fidel Castro reincarnation. But we have to go. Our time is up. We have to go. Nigel, let me thank you once again for being here with me. And we're going to do this again next week. Let me put you on alert. We're going to do this again next week because we have to continue to talk about what is ours. This land is our land and we ain't giving it up for nothing. Viewers, I want to thank you so much. And remember, like I said at the start of the program, let's put on our Facebook pages, on our status on WhatsApp, not a blade of grass. Essequibo belongs to us. Guyana is our land and we will defend it at all costs. Mind you, we're not saying that we are going out there to fight with Venezuela because we can't. But we must put on our status and on our Facebook pages and post them on our Facebook pages. This land is our land. As we go out, be good Guyanese citizens. Look out for the Venezuelans. Keep your eyes on them. Monitor what they're doing so that today or tomorrow or days leading up to the 3rd of December, we would be able to pull what they plan to do. We'll be able to set that back. With that being said, may God continue to bless all of us as we continue to look out for each other and to maintain what is rightfully ours. See you again next week as we discuss part 2 of Guyana is in real crisis with the PPP not serious. Take care.
We ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass. Love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we be criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass, not one golden apple, not one jamon, not a drop of water from the farmer room, not one sherriga, not one